So it's day whatever in quarantine. Guess I can say I built the truck, but yeah, we're supposed to be locked down here until May 1st. The Senate, the state, whatever you want to call it, they're supposed to not let that happen past then. If it does, there's going to be hell to pay. I don't think the citizens of the state are going to put up with it. Too many people don't have jobs right now. I had to lay Tim off. I paid him to work from home for a month on CAD stuff, and I ran out of money. I did not qualify, did not get any of the loans. So, is what it is. Because of the order that the governor of Michigan decreed, he can't really come in because we're not essential here. We build race cars. Hi, Sean.
Hi.
So we're putting tires on the other front wheels for the Repu project so we can get it rolling. These are old NV8 tires. And Sean and May have been a big help on everything I've done over the years for racing stuff. Alright, I got the tires on the wheels. Sean helped me with that. Now I'm moving into control arms and such for the rear wheels. But there's the front wheels on. They're huge. They're basically almost as tall as the dash. It's gonna be hilarious. So next I'm on to the rear with the rear control arms. So I fabbed up the lowers, which are basically the front control arms just flipped around. So got lucky there. But the rear uppers are going to be a new part for this build. I'll be using the existing jig as much as possible, but it's going to require some changes. The biggest, not the biggest, but I'm dealing with an obstacle right now where all of my the uprights on the car now, these are mine off NV8 number 2. Stevens, and these are called a GTC upright from Palatov. Steven used the GTX uprights, which we received, but they're a little bit different, so that's what I'm going to deal with right now. These are Stevens GTX uprights, which are beautiful. Palatov had these on the shelf, so we opted to go with these. Functionally, strength-wise, they're very similar to the GTC uprights. So, the issue I have, GTC upright toe link on the top, GTX toe link on the bottom. The spread is the same here to here. So this is, if this was on the front, this would be the steering rack attachment, and this would be the pivot. But on the rear, so we get a wider spread, they can go front and rear. So in this case, I'm just guessing an inch off. So initially I was just going to use my GTC uprights to get Steven's truck rolling, and then whenever final assembly came, I would just toss his on. But because these are a little bit different, I'm going to change that plan. We're gonna use these for everything. So now I get to build the upper control arms using the proper toe length. That way everything's spot on. Alright, I've since attached the lower control arms to the actual uprights. So I wanted to get these on the car so I can sanity check everything. Because I don't like doing things twice or 3 times. So now I'm going to build the upper control arms to attach, and it's one step closer to being on its wheels. Alright, so what you see here is half a decade of control arms. But basically, you've got the inner, which, you know, that's where it attaches, where the control arms attach. And then you've got the outer. Now, depending on where it's at and what car it is, you're going to pick a hole. In this case, that's the upper control arm on the front of the knuckle. And then this is the rear. Basically that. So on this plate, where it's easy to work with, I'm going to build a triangular control arm. It's going to go to that, and it's going to go to that. And then, off this rear point, I'm going to build a toe link, so you can adjust your toe. Obviously, as well as keep the wheel straight. Alright, I do these pretty simply. So I have the attachment points, that. I have to drill and tap that, which you don't want to do till after, well, it's drilled, but you don't want to tap it till after welding. So more or less, I just line it up, kind of do some marks. You can see the marks right there. It's in line, it's great. Set that over. I like to overlap the weld a little bit, so just back it out. Boom. And then I give it a mark. When I mark this stuff, I look straight down the tube. And I mark the inside of the notch, whatever you want to call it. And then I notch accordingly. So, that's exactly how I built this one over here. Boom. Yeah, it's going to stay for us. Good. So you can see it's in line. Obviously, you have to tap that so I can put the rod end in it. And that's how you do it. Then the toe link is just going to go somewhere off here. I try to do it as straight as possible to that. Try to do it in line. That way you're not introducing bending loads into that, and then you got trouble. You guys have all seen an angle grinder, so you don't need to see that, but there we go. I'm going to weld that, and then I'm going to stick it on the other side. There it is welded. Go double check, make sure this fits before I start tapping. Oh, this is flipped over so I get the back side. You got the end drilled and tapped for the big 5/8 shank. Here's the rear toe link. So that needs to get connected to the, well, first this simulates the outer link. And then out here, in here technically, it needs to get connected to the control arm. So I've got these frame tabs that will more or less weld onto that. I like to tie them into that, into the threaded bit a little bit. That way you're not all relying on tubing for stresses. So I got to drill these out. They're actually a 7/16 hole. So pop it out to 1/2 inch and there we'll be on the way. Do this to both of them. This is the other toe link, the other side. And then once those are done, next will be push rods. That's not going to work. See how it's out of line? I don't like that. So I'm gonna just grind off the inside there, get it to sit further in. And yeah, that ought to be ready to go. That's better. Now it's in line. Nice and close in there. Not touching. Do the other one, and then on the push rods. So I've got the shock attached to the chassis. It's all just tacked right now. And I've got the push rod attached to the control arm. Yes, it's only going to one of the legs. I'll be connecting the two legs together and plating it top and bottom, because there's going to be substantial load there. So that being said, I don't know if I can do this one-handed or not. Oh. Let's see. Let's set this down. You can't see crap. Maybe from up here. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, exciting stuff. That's the power of rebound right there. Slow motion. So, let me pull some rebound out of this thing. I should have almost no rebound, no compression in it. There we go. It's pretty cool. I'll do it on the wheel. It'll be if I don't knock over the camera. Kind of went into overdrive here. Front suspension is ready for load. Got the control arms done. Got the push rods done. They're not welded, but they'll support weight. This will get a tube across there. Just haven't done it yet. I need to get this show on the road. I got to get the Civic ready since we're racing, I guess, next month. Back here, since I only have 2 shocks, we haven't purchased shocks yet, and half the people are closed anyway. Just built some shock deletes, so at least we can roll this thing around. Our rear push rods are done. Also added a brace there, welded all this up back here. So next step is going to be to get this thing off the cart. I was initially going to try to get the cab on first, but I want to get a weight with the chassis just on the ground, and then I'll roll the chassis back under the cab. So get this show on the road. I think I'm going to do it with a cherry picker. I haven't figured that out yet. Also don't know if I want to film it yet, but I got to go through and cut these tacks, and then the chassis is disconnected from the plate. I got this thing outside. God, it looks good in the light. We're going to get it off the table. See if I can fit that somewhere and not dump the thing off into the driveway. Can't reach it from the back, so weight distribution point right at the firewall. Guess it's off. Well, that's something you don't see every day. A little bit lower. I gotta get some blocks underneath the wheels so it so get the cherry picker out. It's pretty wild. All right, I'm gonna go get those blocks. Actually, no, I'm gonna do something dumb. I think it's light enough, I can just pick it up and roll it off. So the rear ended up slipping a little bit lower than I wanted. Those weren't really half-inch IDs, so basically I moved almost an inch, which inboard is a lot outboard. So I'm going to adjust the push rods up and do a better walk around here. It's on the ground. Doesn't look like a pickup truck, that's for sure. Do a little suspension demonstration. Yeah, almost dropped it. So definitely pumped. Turned out better than I thought it would. Alright, I'm gonna see what it weighs before we get the cab on. See if we can get this thing out on scale. Nice and light. Alright. I was guessing 1,050 earlier. Let's see what it looks like. Oh baby! 974. Wow. So under 1,000 pounds. Pretty good start for this thing. So I'm gonna get this video cut, and next little segment I gotta take the grill apart and then take the fenders off because it won't fit. I'm not even sure these things are gonna clear the hood. So that'll be the next video segment.